Hello, Boo Bears. Are you ready for part two of the watching Tyler lie a whole bunch more? And I'm so sorry that this is late. I honestly just didn't want to watch this interview anymore. I just didn't want to watch him lie anymore. But you know what? I did promise a part two. And I just really thought because I mean the thing is I love you guys. And this is how I know you guys fucks with me, and I love that. I absolutely flipping love that. But I just really thought that I would just be able to like just like not do a part two and nobody would notice. But people noticed and actually that was really sweet. So I got my crap together. So let's get into it. Please like and subscribe. Okay? Because I'll be doing more of these. So let's get into this bit, Samantha. I think we did leave it off on this on the last episode. Sorry, on the last part one, where he talks about how all kids were born inside the marriage. Or were born inside the same marriage. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. So pretty much I think what he's trying to do is say he is using very specific language. He's not addressing how were the kids born, except he's like, oh, maybe those vials. Every time I think about him saying, it's the vials, the 2-year-old vials, kills me. It kills me, honestly. Like this guy's fucking stupid. But he's trying to say that, oh, it was all born inside a marriage. And you had sex with Bry. That's how it doesn't matter. This marriage was already over. They were already separated. The wives were not living in the same area at all. Like Deshawn, Bry's ex-wife, was living in California. So the marriage was over. But it didn't take like a long time to get divorced.
Absolutely. And the thing is, again, childish, kiddish mistakes to where I try to be a part of people's lives and help. Bri ends up pregnant these are with the twins now, right? Her wife is out of the picture. She is now dating this new girl. There's never been a point where Bri doesn't go from relationship to relationship. So this is a new girl.
Why does it matter if Bry goes to see this? He's gonna keep saying that he's not trying to. I'm not trying to smear anyone's name, but why does it matter if Bry goes to relationship? What does that matter? Are you the father? Tyler, let's answer that question. Are you the father? Everything else is moot.
She has this girl around, Kai. The girl's doing everything. She's naming the kids. She's going to appointments. That's the other thing.
What does that matter? Okay, this other girl is naming the kids, going to appointments, but the twins have your last name. Okay.
And people were like, oh, he's at every appointment. He's doing, listen, I want to say 2 appointments maybe. This girlfriend was at every appointment. They were doing stomach castings. She took all the pictures of her stomach. It felt like.
It sounds like a blended family. That's what it sounds like to me, a blended family. The real baby daddy went to a couple appointments, and then the wife of the baby mama, the one or the new girlfriend, is also going to be a part of this family. So she's also going to appointments. It sounds like a blended family. This is what step families are made of.
It was back to that point.
Right.
And I had already agreed with Bri that I would be in these twins' lives because Bri tried to get an abortion. And the doctor said they said you can get it, but with twins, we're going to have to put you to sleep. So she said, I'm not going to get an abortion, right? So
Bri tried to get an abortion, but she was so pressed to get pregnant. Her and her wife was so pressed to get pregnant that they saved your stinky jizz for 2 years. That's probably all moldy because you can't save sperm like that. You got to go to an actual sperm bank. And you already said that they technically, from your version, Tyler, they couldn't afford a sperm bank. So they just left jizz in their freezer. Then like tried to turkey baster this molded jizz. And they wanted that so badly. But then she tried to get an abortion. Something's not boo-boo. Something's not. Let's continue.
As being me, listen, I'm here. I'm back here. Let's rock. Let's do this.
Right.
I'm here with you. But then it spun very quickly to where she's going to these appointments with this woman. It feels more them again. So I started to detach again.
Right.
Shortly after the twins were born, I was around helping a good amount, but that girlfriend was still around as well. She was pretty much
This is a part that I do think is true. So let's listen to this.
raising the kids. And I was there helping a significant portion. And then it hits about, let's say 7, 8 months in. I'm trying to remember if I was even at the first birthday. I might have been at the first birthday of the twins, and I wasn't at 2, 3, 4. She switched. She left that girl. She cheated on that girl, got with another girl who she's now engaged to. And then and that girl brought in 2 more kids. That's why, like, people sit online and they make it seem like it's black and white.
Mm-hmm.
This is the stickiest situation. And now as an adult where I'm able to comprehend more things, it's very sticky. When Bri gets into a relationship, she will push any and everyone out. There's a reason. And again, the same way you said you love her, I always love her. That's my friend. She has a way of focusing, and I know many people do it. You get in a relationship and your friends, people who have helped you, they don't matter.
Right.
Your partner matters. But this is just your girlfriend. I've watched you go from one to another, but she gets in these relationships and it's them. It's their bubble. So she's raising this family, having these kids. And me and Bri have a sit down one time. We meet up in Baltimore and I have a conversation with her and I tell her, I don't have this connection with these kids. I feel like a glorified babysitter. I feel like all you want from me is money to help fund your family. You want to raise.
All you want from me is money to help fund your family. First of all, that's what we call child support. She, and this is like, I mean, this is not a novel thing for a deadbeat daddy to say. It's like, all you want from me is money. All you want from me is money. It's called child support. It's called child support, baby. But the part that I did feel like was honest of him was that maybe this is true, but Bri was getting in relationships. And maybe he was feeling, when she was in relationships, she was including the girlfriends or the new fiancés or whatever. Maybe that was happening. And for him, I do feel like even if she didn't push him out, I feel like he felt pushed out. And I do feel like he has some abandonment issues. And so for him, that feeling of not having the same control, where it's like just him and Bri and the babies, and then it's like now another person, he needs all the love. He needs all the attention. It needs to be his family. I don't think he can handle a stepchild situation or I don't think he can handle like a step parent situation. He needs to be fully in it. Just like he ends up saying, I think he said to when he was talking about with Ashley or on the last one, he's like, "Yeah, I want to do it where I want to be a part of every little thing, and we're like one." That's abandonment issue type stuff. Well, we're not going to be one, you know. So I do think that this is like his abandonment issues coming through. And so then he detaches. As soon as he feels like he's about to be abandoned, he detaches. And I think with Bri, she's like, yeah, we slept together. Maybe they had like, who knows? Like, I mean, Bri doesn't say this, but maybe they had a bit more of a relationship, but she's like, I like women. This was never supposed to be you and me, like just you and me. It was always gonna be that, like, you would date other people, I would date other people, but we would have a blended family, and I just don't think you could handle that because he wanted to have full control, full say. He didn't wanna have somebody else involved. He wanted the kids to be fully, "This is daddy, not this is mommy and daddy." Like, he doesn't want any of that. He wants the full love, and I do feel like maybe sometimes when you're abandoned, you don't feel like people can love more than one person. Do you know that kids can love more than one person or whatever? I don't know. I'm just talking a lot right now, but like it does feel like that part feels a bit honest. Like he was maybe a bit hurt by that situation. And then he's like, well, bye. Like, and then in that way, he's like, well, you're not gonna get money from me if you're gonna be having other people raise my kids as well. And you just don't have that's just like not how life works. Other people are like this is stuff that happens all the time, right? You get divorced or whatever, you have a baby mama or whatever, and like the relationship doesn't work out, and then you maybe get into another relationship, right? And that's okay. And then that person will be a part, if they're like actually there for a while, they'll be a part of your kid's life, as well as the original parents will also be a part of the kid's life. It just isn't going to look as clean as maybe what he wants.
Raise these kids with a woman. I know because I agreed to help you.
Yeah.
But the disconnect is that's not how I want to be a dad. I was raised without a father and people are bashing me saying, you should know what it's like. No, it's different.
Oh, it's very different.
She is being raised. These kids in general are being raised by they've been raised by two women constantly, whether it's a girlfriend or a fiance. It's been a 2-woman household this entire time.
In the season that you were active, do you consider yourself?
It doesn't matter, but I think, I don't know. I feel like, don't you guys agree? This is more about, this is a 2-woman household. It's not a woman and a man household. It's not a me and Bri household. It's a Bri and the woman, and then I have to put in extra effort to be a part of the kid's life. And I think for him, he's like, I don't want that. I want you to be making sure that I'm part of the kid's life. I want you to be, I don't want to have to put in that extra effort. I should be living with you. I should be blah, blah. And if Bri's moving on with other people, that's not how it's going to be. But also, you are the father of those twins. It doesn't matter if the twins now also have extra parents. You are the father, so you still owe child support. You still are supposed to be financially, emotionally, and all those things responsible for the kids. And now they also have extra love.
Of raising them, or do you consider yourself just being a babysitter?
I didn't get to raise them. That's the thing. I didn't get to discipline them.
Oh.
I felt bad if I even said like, hey, don't touch that because I wasn't around much.
Oh, okay.
They never.
You know, you live downstairs from them. We're gonna quantify. When we say not much and all that, we don't know what that
Okay,
means.
so let's do this. I wasn't an active parent.
So how often did you see this kid weekly?
The son at first, I would say I was seeing him more recently, 4 or 5 times a week, right? Him. Twins were born after, when they're around, when they were babies from 0 to 6 months, I seen them pretty frequently, Monday through Friday, from 6 months, 0 to 6 months.
Okay, so the son, he saw 4 to 5 times a week. If you haven't, I don't know if any of you guys, I mean, I haven't, but I know custody agreements, like with friends or whatever. That's 4 to 5 times. That's basically like a full-time custody agreement. Even 50-50. If you were a 50-50 parent, you would not get to see the kids as much. Seeing a child 4 to 5 times a week, and then the twins, he's like, oh, I saw them more 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. You were the father. You were the father. Okay, 4 to 5 times or 5 times is a lot of times. And then to say you had no connection to these, any child that I would see 4 to 5 times or 5 times a week, I would start to have a connection with. I would start to have and even if it's not my child, I would start to feel for them and love them. There's something like not clicking for him. I don't know what's going on. Like he like dissociates or something. There's something going on there. That's weird.
After that, once her partner was consistently around again, a new partner, they've never spent the weekend with me.
So they're saying that when you get a new
Okay, so when she had a new partner, they never spent the weekend with him. And there's a lot and you saw them 5 days a week, bitch. 5 days a week.
lover in your life, you abandon your kids. You're saying it's the opposite.
I can tell you that I've dated seriously 3 women.
Since these kids were born, or in your
no, just my entire life. And this is not including Ashley. So at what point do these women come into effect? Because I dated, when I stopped talking to, or when me and Bri had a conversation, I didn't have a connection. I felt like a glorified babysitter. I then went on to date a girl. I dated her for a year. I didn't see these twins or talk to them for almost 4 years. I'm not in serious relationships like that.
I definitely know that this is a lie. The only time that he stopped seeing the twins was between 2021 and 2022. Then he got back in their lives. And this is what Bri said, that he disappeared and she found out that he was actually in love with, dating a girl, and that's why he disappeared. He thought, and I think he does this, he thought, okay, I can form another family. He has these I think he has this fantasy stuff where he wants to create this perfect family. And I think with Bri, he thought that would happen, but it's not turning out the way he thought. So then he wants to abandon her. Then he finds this other girl and falls in love. He's like, maybe I can do that here. And he abandons everybody else. Then that doesn't work out. Then he comes back to Bri in 2022. And this is also, in 2021, it's also subsequently when she goes to the court and sues him for child support. And then in 2022, they come to an agreement through the courts. And we can see this on Maryland Judiciary Case Search. Okay. So in 2022, they have a full agreement on custody, visitation, and child support. And then between 2022 and 2023, at least from what Bri says, everything's fine. And then he goes 2023 into September, he goes on Love is Blind. When he gets back from the honeymoon, he's writing her, but then he starts to disappear again. And then he disappeared 2023 till now. And because he found a new family. He's like, oh, I could have the family that I want with Ashley. So I got to get rid of these ones. He has a pattern. It's very clear pattern.
That's the thing. I date, but I'm dating like everyone else, conveniently dating.
Yeah.
And no one is ever telling me what to do, like not be around these kids. They're playing house, not me. No woman is moving in and living with me and any of that. So it's not affecting my life.
Yeah.
That's easy to say when you have pushed someone out because you want that family. She has told me to my face, I want to raise kids with a woman. I don't see how it's possible to do it with a man. And I get it. Like I said, I get it. So my backing out standpoint was, okay, well, this is affecting my life too. Because
you get it how? Because that just confused me. So you said you get what part?
That she wants to, because she's been with women her entire life. So to say that that's what you want and that's what you see your life as, if I want to be with a woman, that's who I want to raise my kids with,
But when she brought you into the life, so who brought who into this situation about, when the women disappeared? Is it you asking to be in these kids' lives?
I don't know if I believe that. But also, I can also see Bryce saying that, especially when he's disappearing. She's like, I don't know how to do this. But that sounds like, I feel like if she said that, that sounds like him using a very vulnerable argument moment, or very hurtful, saying something she's saying very hurtful when she's angry with him. Like, I don't know how to do this with you. I don't know how to do this with you with a man because you're just coming in and out. And maybe she feels like she has some prejudice of what feels like to raise some kids with a man. But she obviously sued you for custody, um for visitation, for child support. She doesn't know how to do this with you. And I think in some ways he's messing up what she said. And she's like, I don't know how to do this with you. And yeah, I wouldn't either. I would be hard to do when somebody's just constantly leaving the situation as soon as the situation isn't exactly how he wanted it.
Life to be uncle, or is she saying, hey, I need your help now, since, because is both of y'all having a conversation saying, she said, I don't want to be a single parent, and you saying, I don't want my kids growing up in a single household, whether it's two women or me trying to help out. Let's come together and help provide some level of stability for these kids, or what is this conversation like?
That's exactly what it is. It's the stability of kids having two parents. I honestly don't care if it's two men, two women, man and woman. I was raised in a single household, so it changes financially. It changes for support. Some parents they don't have their greatest day, so they need someone else to lean on at some point. So that was me. When I seen her struggling, and like I said, I'll take fault for that. Where I'm like, hey, I'll step up. I'm here. Where she has showed me who she was, and I took it as you're just going through tough times. You didn't mean to cut me out of your life. You didn't mean to let your wife come back and push me back out. You're still my friend. I still love you.
Well, how'd you feel about that then? Since you didn't have an emotional connection with the kids in general, when you got pushed out, did you have an emotional connection getting pushed out?
No. So like I said, when it was time when we had that conversation, I took it as more of a shot at me as a friend. That's what I seen. It wasn't like a connection where it's this is hurting me. You're pulling me from these kids. It's damn, we cool. Like I stepped in to help you. And then the minute, and sorry, I mean,
oh, you're fine. But I told you.
Step in, it's a shocker to me. So
there's a part of me that feels like that, like, I don't think his exact interpretation is true, but I do feel like what I said before, that as soon as she gets in a relationship, he feels pushed out. I think he does feel that way. I think this is going to be the most honest thing we're going to get from him. I think he does feel pushed out. And then he's like, oh, okay, well, you got a new wife. Bye. I'm not going to be splitting up your time. I'm not going to be second option. I'm not going to have my kids be parented by somebody else, so then they're not my kids anymore. Which is like a really crazy work, But that's my interpretation of this, is that when she gets in another relationship, he feels pushed out. Whether she is doing it or not, that's how he feels. So then he detaches. And then he's like, well, then why do you need money from me? But at the same time, the whole money thing and all that stuff, that also feels like him retaliating because he's hurt and he feels abandoned. Just my thoughts.
She showed her face multiple times and it just shocked. It wasn't like it was a hurt from a friend, but also like, okay, if these kids are safe and they're going to have a family, I know what I was signing up for. I have to understand that. And the only thing with me is,
but also the things that's crazy is he keeps saying that he had an unstable household. Don't you feel like it's unstable of you, whether you have an attachment to these kids or not? Don't you feel like it's unstable to continuously come in and out of the child's life just because, like, oh, well, now they have a second parent, so I guess I can leave? That feels unstable. Like, why would you do that to them? It's just like such a weird thing to me to be like, oh, well, like, I didn't sign up for them to be raised in a single family household, but you signed up for them to be continuously abandoned by you. Oh, now there's a second person. That's gonna fuck a child's life up. Where it's like, oh, there's a second person. That second person's gone. Now, Father Tyler came back. Oh, now there's a second person. So Father Tyler left, and now the second person's like, that's gonna fuck somebody up.
I don't want to be a tiptoe dad,
right?
Because that's what my dad was to me, and that's more hurting. And I would feel better if I didn't know my dad,
right?
I would be able to live life rather than thinking, why didn't he pick me? And at some point I had to make that decision. And again, this is a rough take.
Tiptoe dad mean? I feel like a tiptoe dad is different than why didn't he pick me? It feels weird.
But I have to accept this in my life as well. And I don't want people to think like, he's just saying, forget them kids. It's not that easy for me. It's not. Just because I say I don't have a connection, I don't want you to think that I don't love them, that I don't care for them. It's not that. It's just I feel like that's the situation that they're going to have. And I'll be fighting that for a very long time, of her wanting to be with a woman and raise those kids with a woman. There's even times where
you hear that
I don't care for them. It's not that. It's just I feel like that's the situation that they're going to have, and I'll be fighting that for a very long time, of her wanting to be with a woman and raise those kids with a woman.
I'll be fighting that situation for a very long time. I don't know. I feel like he is catching himself here. He's saying a little bit too much honest things. So that's why you dipped out. You felt like you would be fighting this situation for a long time where you wouldn't have as much of a say, because now she also there's another person in this situation, when she has a fiance or whatever. And it's very possible that her fiance isn't as nice as what he likes. Maybe they don't like Tyler as much, whatever. Or maybe they didn't really want to sign it. Who knows? Honestly, who knows? But blended family situations are not always easy. It's not always smooth. And I think for him, he just likes easy. I don't think he can handle hard. I think he runs away from hard. And I get that too, because of the way his whole quote unquote people pleaser thing. Most of the time when people say I'm a people pleaser, sometimes they really are people pleasers, but a lot of times he isn't one of those people pleasers that, like, There's two types. There's people pleasers that like pretty much damn themselves. Like they will give and give and give even if they don't have anything. And they will literally make it so that they don't do the stuff that they need to do for themselves because they told somebody else that they do something for them. He's a type that is, I don't know if I would say as much of a people pleaser as he is a yes man. He's a yes man, and that those ones are the worst types because you say yes, but then you don't do it because you couldn't do it. But in that moment, you're trying to avoid conflict. So I can see for him, he tries to avoid conflict. And I can see whenever somebody else, a new woman comes into the life of Bri and the kids, maybe there is some conflict. A lot of times, blended family, it takes time for it to be a smooth machine, and there's still going to be conflict. And him being the avoidant person that he is, I can see him just dipping and being like, "This is too much. I don't do this conflict type crap." You know, just like he didn't want to tell Ashley. He didn't tell Ashley until like the last possible moment that he had sperm babies, but he still lied because he's a yes man. He doesn't want conflict, so he tries to pick the path of least resistance, which is they're not really my kids. I'm just a sperm daddy. I also didn't tell you in the pods because, oh, conflict. But I have finally it got to the point where I absolutely have to tell you something. So I picked the least conflict situation story that I can come up with. See what I mean? And then also the way he, instead of just telling Bri, I'm out. I don't want anything to do with these kids, which is absolutely horrible. But at this point, I would have preferred him to say this. You can see in the text messages that she has between her and Tyler, he just gets sparser and sparser and sparser. He just starts ghosting. He's avoidant. He's avoidant. He just doesn't like, and then he lies about like, oh, I don't have my phone with me. Oh, blah, blah, blah. This is somebody that is a yes man, a people please, not a people pleaser, but an avoidant person. And those are the worst because they'll tell you yes and then just not do it. This is the end of part 2. And then I'll upload part 3. Please like and subscribe because I'm going to be doing more videos. Love you. Mean it. Bye.